I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody who's ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Boxtalk. We've got the undisputed, unified heavyweight champion of the world. I'm not talking about Stavern. I'm not talking about all these other guys that said they're the best and they're coming up. I'm not talking about Wilder. We're talking about the one, the only, the champion. Wladimir Klitschko returns against the #1 contender, the official #1 contender. You check the ratings, you check the rankings. This guy deserves it. Kubrat Pulev, 20-0, undefeated. Ade, where do we go with this?
Look, if Vladimir, first of all, if Vladimir was American, there's two things. If Vladimir was A, American, and B, if Vladimir had all the kind of showmanship of Floyd Mayweather, we would be eulogizing about this guy. We'd be going crazy. We'd be like, this guy is fantastic. This guy is amazing. I mean, people say he's boring in the ring, but yet when Mayweather does similar to what Vladimir does, Mayweather's a defensive genius. Yeah. He's exciting. You've got to use your attributes to your best you can. You've got to use your jab. You've got to use your body weight. And when you want to knock out someone, you do that. Yeah. He ticks all those boxes easily. Another thing, very quickly, there's a list of so-called young heavyweights that are going to cause him trouble. I mean, there's Tyson Fury, there's Deontay Wilder, but Stavern's not young, but there's Stavern. I mean, Hay came and went. He might come again. He will run through the... I genuinely believe, and this is not even... I'm not even taking the piss, because people say this all the time as a joke. I genuinely believe he could beat Stavern, maybe not, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury on the same night with about an hour's rest in between. Like, he'll fight Tyson Fury. He'll get rid of Tyson Fury in a 3 or 4. And then rest, protein shake, and then fight Deontay Wilder and finish him off as well. He is a machine. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says, he's a machine. Go on.
Don't get me wrong, yeah, because I'm not going to compare these two people together because they're both all-time greats in my opinion. Vladimir and I'm going to mention. But there was another champion about 20, 30 years ago that was considered boring. All he does is jab. All he does is jab. I'm talking about the great Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes is now is alluded as one of the best heavyweights, mostly top 3 or top 5.
Yeah, definitely top 5 heavyweights.
Depending on what people say. Yeah. And this guy was slated for his whole career.
So boring.
Just because he came after Ali. He's so boring, he's so boring, he's so boring. About 12 years ago, there was another guy that Americans didn't like. Lennox Lewis. He's boring. He's so boring. He's got knocked out.
Yeah, he's rubbish. He's got a weak chin.
And now where's Lewis now? A top 10 of all time, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. This is what I mean about boxing. Yeah, sometimes you have it so good, you don't know what to do. You can't blame Vladimir for knocking out people that are not the greatest heavyweights because that was the division as it was then. Kind of, when he was coming up, he had some good names on the record, some good people. Up to about 2007, I think, after he beat Sultan Ibragimov was when it kind of died out, the division. Yeah. And then now it's kind of coming back. But once you're the champion on top, you can't make contenders. You just got to fight what's there. So, as much as I understand the criticism he gets, I do think it's a little harsh.
Yeah, a little harsh. It's harsh. It's ridiculously harsh. Look, like you say, you can only beat what's put in front of you. Look, what I like about him is that he had the tough fights. Obviously, he lost to South Africa, I can't remember his name now.
Corey Sanders.
Lost to Corey Sanders, and he had the up and down against Samuel Peter.
Yeah, and he lost to Lehman Brewster as well.
And lost to Lehman Brewster. You go back, and you look at your attributes.
And you fix them.
And you fix your attributes, and you think, okay, look, I'm 6'5". These guys I'm fighting are 6'1". Let me use what I can. I'm going to use my jab. I'm using my strength. You know, there's another thing about him is tall guys, when you're over sort of 6'4", 6'5", you're out of shape. Yeah. I mean, look at the list. I mean, you got Tyson Fury, big guy, out of shape. Let's be honest. Even Ustinov, we like him. Marius Vac, out of shape. Tony Thompson. This guy comes in.
He's an athlete.
Like an athlete.
He's a modern athlete.
It's unbelievable.
He's a modern athlete.
It's unbelievable. I mean, David Hayes' criticism all the time was like, oh, you're fighting guys that are out of shape. Yeah. David Hayes fought him.
I'm the only heavyweight that's in shape.
I'm the only heavyweight that's in shape.
And then he fought him.
Then he looked, I remember the weigh-in for that fight. And David Hayes posed and Vladimir posed, and I thought David Hayes in trouble. Yeah. Just from the weigh-in, I thought he's in trouble. He's fighting someone that actually is more of an athlete than he is. Yeah. And I think people forget that.
Let's look at Pulev. Pulev, to me, is the best heavyweight in the world, best #1 contender in the world. Yeah. He's come up slow. Don't get me wrong. He can't slip under the radar. But you know, boxing fans out there watch the fights. You can see this guy is technically sound. Yeah. He's big. Yeah. He's athletic, but he's athletic in an unusual way. He's athletic, but he's not as fast or aggressive or he's got a military, but he's always always on you.
Yeah. Always.
Always in range. Always. He's strong. And what I like about Pulev as well is that he's Vladimir's type of size. Even though in the picture, Wladimir was quite a bit taller than him. Vladimir's about 6'6", Pulev is about 6'4".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not a small guy like Povetkin, who's about 6 foot, 6'1".
Yeah.
Vladimir's going to pick up and throw across the ring 100
Which
times.
he did.
Yeah,
Right.
this guy could hold his own. And what I like about Pulev as well is that he's technically sound. And people say to beat Wladimir, you've got to knock him out. I don't think you have to knock Wladimir out to beat him. I think if you box with him and you've got the right skill set, you can make it tricky for him. Because Wladimir is a boxer, but Wladimir is not an aggressive boxer.
Yeah.
So if you go first and stay ahead of him and keep pumping your jab with his jab, you'll give him second thoughts. Because Wladimir, you know, he's a thinking fighter. Povetkin, as much as he had the skill set technically, he didn't have the right training camp because he was with Teddy Atlas and then he left and went to Costa Zoo and he started changing his style again.
Yeah.
And two, unfortunately for Povetkin, as a modern heavyweight, he's undersized.
Too small.
I mean, and
Just too small.
to be a modern heavyweight at 6'4" or 6'1", you're gonna have problems unless you've got
stupid speed or
power.
Detonating power, like a David Haye kind of thing.
Or you got to have some mad skills in boxing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 6'2". We've been to loads of gyms. Yeah. If you see a heavyweight that's 6'2", they're huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you see a heavyweight that's 6'6" or 6'7", 6'8", they are huge guys.
Like we saw with Chisora Ustinov.
Yeah.
It's like bloody hell. It's like it's two different weight classes.
Exactly. It's just a different thing. And
What I like about Pulev more than anything is unlike Stavern, unlike Deontay Wilder, unlike Tyson Fury, I won't put Derek Chisora there because Derek Chisora's fought some prospects. He's made his way up the right way.
Yeah.
He's beat the Ustinovs. He's beat Tony Thompson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's beat the people that you kind of say, okay, you beat those, you deserve that shot. This isn't a free shot. He's put himself in a mandatory position. This isn't a voluntary.
Yeah.
And he's worked as well by beating, you know, guys that are either in the top 10 like Tony Thompson and Ustinov or just on the fringes of them as well. Like Travis Wood.
At the time when you fought Thompson, people keep forgetting that Thompson only lost 2 fights before that.
Yeah.
Both to Wladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
Once was I think it was 11th round stoppage. I think once was a 6th or 7th round
Yeah.
stoppage. But this guy doesn't lose to no one. I mean, this guy's always been. People say he's a contender, he's a gatekeeper. No, let's be fair to Tony Thompson.
He's a bit more than the guy.
He's a bit more than a gatekeeper. Yeah, this guy beats everyone he put in front of him except Wladimir.
Yeah.
He came over here and supposed to beat when he beat up David Price. And he had his way with him twice.
Yeah.
This guy's a technically solid
Beat
boxer.
Alonso Solis as well.
Yeah.
Wladimir Solis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pulev beat him well and comfortable on points.
Yeah.
You don't do that unless your name's Wladimir Klitschko. So that tells me again that Pulev's fighting the right type of people, but he's got the technical refinement to handle a tall, rangy boxer just like Wladimir.
The thing is, after that very good Obama speech by Ryan Rayson, I just don't see how anyone, I'll be honest with you, any heavyweight out there now, unless America are kind of creating one in the lab, kind of what Russia used to do, I don't see how anyone beats Wladimir Klitschko right now. I mean, it's not just about skill set sometimes, it's about mentality as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen the videos with Shannon Briggs kind of pushing him and there's something about that would make me, honestly, there was one video where Shannon Briggs went into the ring with him and said, I just want to size you up.
Yeah.
And I thought, if Wladimir lets one go right now, it's lights out. Wladimir, honestly, is the closest thing we're going to get to Ivan Drago. Honestly, he is a machine, and I just don't see how you beat him. I honestly don't see how you beat him. We're talking about a big guy in shape. We're talking about an Olympian. I think people forget that as well. We're not just talking about a big guy, a Tyson Fury or Derek Chisora that won a couple of ABA titles. We're talking about a guy that went to, I think it was Atlanta 96, won the gold medal, so he can box. You don't get those accolades from out. So it's not just big. You're talking about a guy that's big, mentally up there is tough, and he's been the champion for I don't know how many years now. It's just gone past. How many defenses has Wladimir got? It's ridiculous.
What people forget about Wladimir is that, okay, he turned pro. I think he turned pro, I think it's either end of 96 or beginning of 97 he turned pro. That's what, 17 years from now? 18 years from now?
Yeah.
He won his first world title, I think in 2000, against Chris Bird. I think it was a WBO belt.
Yeah.
It's now 2014.
Yeah.
So in his 18-year career, take out the couple years in between when he lost, the guy's had a belt for maybe 10 of those 18 years.
Seen it,
You know what I mean?
done it.
12 of those 18 years. I mean, that's unbelievable. And when you take out the losses he had, he lost to Corey Sanders, I think it's 2003.
Yeah.
I think he regained in 2006, I think it was. It's a 3-year break, and I'm trying to say. And in that time, he fought good people. He fought, who did he, against Samuel Peters he fought.
Yeah.
And that was the eliminator when he went back with Bird.
Yeah.
He fought that Cuban guy, Castillo,
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy. But decent guys. He fought Touch of Sleep, Darrell Wilson.
Yeah.
So even when he was down, he was still fighting credible guys. And that's what some of the new guy divisions don't have. When they're having downtime, they're still fighting poor guys.
Yeah. I mean, look, Deontay Wilder is a good example, and this is not a video to kind of slate Deontay Wilder. I saw he done a good interview with Kugan Cassius recently, and he almost seemed to suggest that, well, as long as you can get to the title without having to fight anyone hard, that's the way we're going to do it. Deontay Wilder's fought 32 people, and when they asked him, who's your most credible opponent, he said Malik Scott. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. I mean, look at Vladimir's record, and look who Vladimir had fought when he got to 32. And 32. Check the record. Check Vitaly's record, who he had fought when he got to 32.
People forget, that when Vladimir had his first loss to Ross Purity, that was actually a huge step. Ross Purity was a very good gatekeeper at the time, contender, borderline. But Ross Purity is better than anyone on Vladimir and Wilder's record. Yeah, straight up. That tells you that.
After all that, are we going to see a good matchup? I mean, we're going to see better than obviously the last fight where it went 4 rounds. What are we going to see?
We're going to see another bacon pie. Yeah. In Leo pie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you turned rapper over the last month, yeah?
What we're going to see in this fight here is going to see what I think is going to be a boxing fight for boxing fans. You're going to see 2 skilled big guys boxing it out. Technically smart, crafty boxing. And I think Vladimir will get the better hand of him, but it's going to take him a few rounds, maybe 7 or 8 rounds to figure him out and catch him. And I don't think we're going to see a Vladimir knockout. I think we're going to see a points decision. Okay,
I'm going to go with that as well, exactly how you said that. In terms of what's next for Vladimir, I mean, Vladimir's, 37, I think? Yeah. Around that age? I mean, he still looks in fantastic shape. Are any of these so-called contenders, and I say so-called because I generally don't believe they are contenders, do any of these have any way, shape and form, are they a threat to him at all? Is Deontay Wilder's speed maybe anything?
I don't see Deontay Wilder being a threat to Vladimir right now. Deontay Wilder not even took a shot from anyone. So for me to say you can go,
we saw him take a shot from David Haye sparring, and that didn't go too well.
Yeah, exactly. But so I'm not in bad. Deontay Wilder, I give him no credit as it stands right now as a heavyweight. Yes, he's good. He's got a knockout, but title contendership for Vladimir, hell no. The best person for Vladimir right now is Stavern, and you know Stavern is a quick, crafty counter puncher. And that's what knocked Vladimir out. Same thing with Corey Sanders, was a counter punching. Same thing with them, kind of get exhausted. But if you sit on the ropes and lead Vladimir in those crafty, sneaky shots, that's your best shot with Vladimir of our current heavyweight batch right now. So I think Stavern had the best shot overall. But as it stands right now, you're gonna say I'm crazy. I don't want to see that fight right now. The only fight I want to see with Vladimir after this fight is a walkover bout with Shannon Briggs. Because it is too funny. The Shannon Briggs show and Wladimir Klitschko is so funny right now. I think the build-up and press is going to be huge.
Yeah, I like what Shannon Briggs is doing, but almost it's kind of where boxing's going right now, though, where he's almost jumping the queue by doing this thing. I don't really like it.
If Wilder's going to get a shot from fighting no one, at least Briggs got a name and fought 10 or 15 contenders in his career as a whole. Yeah, he's a former world champion. Yes, he ain't fought no one, but no one's Wilder.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, I saw a very quick interview, very, very quickly before we shut down, where Barry Hearn said Anthony Joshua will be ready for Vladimir in 18 months. Nah. Okay. All right, guys, look, that's it. So Wladimir Klitschko versus Pulev. Probably he's toughest fight for a few years here. In terms of a credible opponent, in terms of someone that comes and actually gets your juices excited, like, oh, we're going to see Vladimir in a fight now. This is probably the guy who is, like Ryan says, not as big, but very close to it. Unbeaten, skillful, has fought credible opponents to get there. So we're not talking someone who's run his mouth and got the shot. We're talking about someone that's actually beat who he needed to beat to get a chance at being mandatory, which he's got. We both go for Vladimir. It's going to be a close fight. What do you think? Leave the comments below and tell us. Can anyone stop this Russian? He's not even Russian, but I'm going to call him a Russian machine. Ukraine. Can anyone stop this Ukrainian machine? I don't think so, but leave a few names and tell us what you think. Tyson Fury, Chisora, the rest of them, you can tell us. Email us as well at
boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at boxtalkuk.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe as well, and also check out ringnews24.com for the latest stuff on boxing. Thanks a lot.